Welcome to Game On for the last time in this location. This is where we started. This is what we started with. We had blue paint on the walls. Didn't get to change our ceiling, our trim, but we did get this sweet orange coating.
Blazing bonfire.
And that was it. The floors were in about this condition. Stuff on them, dirty, gross pores. We actually wore through the top layer of floor and got to the spongy under layer that fills with dirt and you can't clean it.
It's awful.
Totally trashed because our customers love us and walk around our stores in that. You can see that all of our shelves are gone. When we got here, we didn't have any slapboard, so the only choice we had was to improvise and design something, and we attached steel rods to the wall and drilled holes in them, which all of our racks could fit on, and then we painted them with a blue paint that was very similar to this. We got it from Alaska Dames, so it's tough as nails, and it just blended in. Nobody really even knew how we had them attached. It was so unconventional. But small business in Alaska, that's all you got.
I would like to point out the beautiful covers that were left over from Freya.
They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous.
Nobody got to appreciate them with us. Maybe for the small children. We had a fan here, actually. Our Game On, Game Over sign that so many people loved. I wear that myself when we're doing our pictures before and after we open the new store. I'm going to share with you some behind the scenes how I did it. And we've got the materials that I made it with. We kept all that stuff. But I actually had to wire it through here because the only outlet is inside. So I had to go around this fan and out the vent to wire our sign so it could have the power to do what we needed.
Well, originally this window, we didn't have a window that opened. We had just a solid window, so we were able to put it inside.
Yeah. Put it inside. It was set in. And then that first winter, like 2 months after we opened, it got damaged.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And chucked up some rocks and chipped the window in several places.
That's right.
This isn't safe for our customers or for our store. So Connie replaced it. By the way, Connie Chitty is a heck of a landlady. Strongly recommend her for anyone looking for any housing, any business. She took really good care of us.
Yeah.
She didn't take advantage of us, and she was very courteous. We're really gonna miss Connie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got this replaced. We had to move the sign outside. That's also about the time that we got our vandalism, where somebody cut down our sign, not appreciating our pro-inclusivity stance. They cut our sign, pulled it down, and it was actually at a point where I needed to upgrade it anyway. It was kind of a trashy looking sign at first. We didn't have any materials. So we put a nice frame around it, put a nice back on it, took out the salmon fishing floats that I had used as spacers. Major upgrade. We were just skin of our teeth and patched pants coming in here.
We had a single pallet of games that we had shipped up from down south. That was our personal collection.
Including we bought a Costco thing of saran wrap and just coated the whole thing, the whole roll. And we got told it was the nicest home pickup packing job they had ever seen.
Yep.
And that saran wrap, the pallet, the covering tarp, and the boxes and games and systems came out to about 600 pounds total. And then that was our personal collection. That was all our games we collected our whole life, and that's what we started with. And that was it.
It was pretty heartbreaking to know that each sale that we were making was a game that we loved that was going, but at least it was going to someone else who was going to enjoy it. And
there were times where I didn't want to let a game go.
Yeah.
I wanted to sell the game and then go cry. And okay, we'll just charge a little bit over the internet prices so everyone's getting a fair price. And if we really can't deal with the loss of this game, we can order it again. Because we didn't know. We'd never given away our games. We loved them so much. We were actually not originally going to be here. We were going to be down where Freya is now. But during the remodel and expansion, this whole building needed to be reworked. And Connie's like, all right, let's do it. We'll make it good. And during that process, they ended up opening it to make it a much larger space. And Freya had, Carrie, the owner of Freya, had expressed interest in it. It was a little too small at first. Once it opened up, she ended up taking that space, and we got to move into her old space. And the nicest thing about this, the thing that we would like, there were problems with it. We weren't going to have our game rooms, but this we looked forward to because we knew exactly what was going to go here. And for those of you who've been in our store before, you know that diversity in video games is really, really important to us. You can't walk through the store and miss it. And this is obviously the center of the store. This is the showcase of the room. Everything is directed at this wall and this place. This is the best sales point there is. And we didn't care. There were games here for sale, but more than half the games at any given time were not, because they weren't ours to sell. They belonged to employees. They belonged to us. We were still playing them. And most importantly, we wanted people to know they were there. You might not be able to pick up an original Fantasy Star for the Sega Master System from us. That one was actually for sale, but sometimes
Yeah, it was.
we have those games. Knight's Journey of Dreams has a non-binary character, and we didn't have that for sale. But it's so hard, so very hard to find non-binary representation that we kept it up there so people could see it. We gave up on all the profit of this, even as this tiny fledgling business with hardly any hours at my other job at the time, and a new child. Lyndon was just under a year old, just over a year old.
Just
like
over,
a year and a month
almost,
when we started.
yeah, almost
And,
two.
Actually, if you look in that back room, you can see where Lyndon stayed during this.
Oh no, yes.
But we gave up all that possible revenue because it was so much more important to us to do what was right and to take care of our community, the people around us, and to represent everyone who gets overlooked. It was worth risking it. It's easy to argue that us succeeding and us making money and us not fading out is more important because you can do a lot more good if you're there. But we had a pretty strong idea that people like video games, and we're going to buy them one way or another. We're going to miss out on the highlight sale, we're going to miss out on the big pushes, but I want people to know about the diversity more than I want their money.
And in our new store, we're still going to have the diversity wall.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Actually, if anybody watching this is an Ingress player, we need your help. You need to have a level 10 Ingress account to make changes to the system, and those go into effect in Pokemon Go. There's a couple of Pokemon Go spots in the Nugget Mall that are outdated. Their icons have moved or been removed entirely. The mural at the end of the Nugget Mall is an Ingress spot.
Like the Timberwolf and the bear.
Idea of Pokestops and gyms is that they're icons, they're important art, or they're important social pieces that will help you think. They give you time to contemplate and make you know about the culture in your town. Who are the people that you live with? What is important to your community? And we want to get our diversity wall turned into a Pokestop. We want people to stop in town and play Pokemon Go while they're touring because people are dorks. I'm a dork, I do that. I did that when we went down to Oregon recently. And we want them to see this diversity in video gaming wall and come look at it and talk to us about it and take that back home. Take that back to California, take that back to Oregon, take that back to Florida, to Tennessee, to Nebraska, and share this thing like, hey, instead of another statue of a wooden pig, I saw this thing in Alaska that really mattered. So we're looking forward to that. And if anybody has a high-level Ingress account, talk to us. We need your help, and we can make that happen. So we moved like a foot while I rebalanced, and I asked Emry if we had time left on the phone to do another one. That's why it's changed a little bit, but we're still here. So we're going to finish our tour of the end of Game On in the Airport Mini Mall. There's not a whole lot left to see, and actually there's very little to see, as you'll notice as Emry turns, because this hallway
Oh yeah.
is dark.
when we took down the lights.
This is the kind of darkness that would inspire Neil deGrasse Tyson to give an epic poem about space. We had little LED lights. Let me turn on a light in the background here so we got a little something. Oh, it's a fan. Oh, that was regrettable.
Oh, well.
We had LED lights around the store, and part of that was because up in the corners all around it's very dark, but also you can't see beams in this hall. Freya had a lamp back here, and it just didn't work with our storage needs. We desperately needed more storage. So we had some shelves back here that we put people's trade-ins on, and then this closet is where we did most of our processing. We had rows and rows of boxes. We had all our systems set up, so when you came and bought an Xbox 360 from us, we'd come back here, find the right power cord, the matching controller, made sure everything was in there, bring the bag out, and that's how you get your system. And we had it all sorted out in different components. We had our spare cache back here. We had our spare systems down bottom, overstock games. If we had some extra 360 games that we couldn't put out, but we knew people were going to buy, we'd keep them here rather than send them off to our storage unit. We started with just the smallest little storage unit at all. This was all resurfacing games. We had a little table back here with a resurfacing system on it. Early on, we had a service. We actually offered a lot of services when we started because we wanted to diversify. We didn't know what people needed most, and we knew that we had a lot of skills and knowledge about video games that we could market. And one of the things we did is we had a way to take those yellow, smoky house-looking systems and restore them to their original strength and color. It's not actually smoke, it's a fire retardant that they put into the plastic years and years ago that not every piece actually got it. So sometimes you'll find a Super Nintendo that's yellow on top and gray on bottom, or it's gray and gray, but then the ports for the controller plugs are perfectly, they're yellow and the ports are perfectly gray. And you're like, that's just the weirdest thing. Did they always keep it plugged in when they smoked? It wasn't smoking, it was a decay because of ultraviolet light. But you put this strong hydrogen peroxide paste compound on it. You coat the thing, absolutely plaster it in this stuff, and then you seal it with a saran wrap so that it doesn't dehydrate and put it back under ultraviolet light. And it actually reverses the chemical process that was weakening it in the first place. And we had a little bay set up down here with an ultraviolet light and a little storage box where we could do that. And in the first few months, we actually, we restored several systems and controllers. We had some NES Advantage paddles and various old gray systems that weren't gray anymore. And we restored them to their beautiful gray luster. I don't think anyone's ever said that before. But that was one of the things back here.
Well, we realized that we really needed to just focus primarily on providing video games, honestly, like trade-ins and resale and repair.
More and more we had requests for interesting things. Like I actually fixed a couple of TVs early on because, I have that skill. I can literally do that. I didn't have anything else to do. And it was a way to make money for the store. If that's something that we needed to do, a direction we needed to go, okay. But our demand for games and trade-ins and processing and helping people find games that represented them or did what they wanted, helping people go from watching someone play games to finding games they loved, that ended up taking more time. It was more meaningful, it was profitable, and it was more efficient. So we had to start cutting out the extra things. We didn't do as many complex repairs. We didn't do mods, system mods where we can install like an HDMI port in your original Nintendo, or where
cool cases or cool LEDs.
Install a ginormous battery inside your DS Lite instead of the basic one that runs out after 6 hours. We can't do any of that anymore. Or we can, but we don't.
I'd like to do stuff like that again, but we need to get to the point where we're meeting the video game need of Southeast Alaska as a whole, honestly.
Right.
Because it's not just Juneau anymore.
We're getting closer to that, and we're going to have a much larger store, and we're going to have some things that'll let us maintain income without quite as much labor, because it's a lot of work to make sure every game is good. Every game is in good shape. We know a lot about the games when we can. There's literally thousands of games now that we have access to. We don't know all of them.
I get asked that. So have you played all the games in here? No.
Yep.
No.
Just yesterday.
I am not 80.
So we're working at that, and we're going to be able to spend less time inventorying. We got a new system that's going to make this a lot faster, hopefully. It's designed by another game store owner, and that'll give us more time to do some of that more specialty work, to be able to modify systems, to be able to repair stuff. I have a PlayStation 3 that a friend of mine asked me to please repair when she was pregnant and having a hard time finding anything to do in her very old PlayStation 3. First gen, all the way backwards compatible. It's actually a fairly valuable system. And I said, yeah, all right, I'm not going to promise anything. It sounds fatal, but I'll give it my best. And it has sat in this very corner under this little tiny tag that says customer repair requests for about a year and a half. I'm sorry. I still have it. It is in a box with an Xbox One from another person I know. Those two people both knew that customer repair requests that I could do were ahead of that. They were both long shots, and they're still long shots. I'm still going to do them. We're going to have a pretty nice repair set up in the next place, and I'm going to have a little more time to work on it, hopefully, especially if birthdays go well. So let's move out of this room. This was very nice, a little cramped.
I liked the cubbies. They were really great when we first started, but after a while it got to be not quite enough room.
Our storage was nothing when we started. We had 2 boxes this long that held every disc in the store.
Oh, yeah.
And they locked, and we locked them every night just in case somebody came in, and I had screwed them down like 30 different ways. They were not going anywhere.
And now they hold Post-it notes.
Now they hold Post-it notes. On the defunct starting shelf we have.
Yeah.
We never got rid of it. I had to build it myself because there was no shelving available. And here's our bathroom.
The bathroom!
This is where we poop and pee.
Yay!
Not anymore, though. I actually had to get Connie a new rod for this because that very same Lyndon we talked about earlier is extremely mechanically inclined and a great escape artist and stole the parts to this so many times. I cannot count them, and I recovered them again and again. I put it together. I would hide it sometimes. If any Lyndon was coming to the store, I'd take the toilet paper off and hide it. The toilet paper didn't interest Lyndon, but this baby right here, oh yeah, that's good. And in all the cleaning, we never found it. I have no idea what happened. So I owe Connie another one of these. I'm sorry, Connie. But yeah, nice large bathroom back here.
Yeah.
Pretty. And lights.
And Connie fixed the light for us.
Yeah.
When it burned out one time.
There was about a month where it was just the dimmest little dusky orange, and there was really no point in turning it on. And we're like, hey, Connie, there's one thing. She's like, why didn't you say so? And she had a guy over that day working on it.
Yeah, I remember.
She's so great. And that's no, that's not terribly important, but, well, I've lost it. Oh, well. Probably glossed over it. There's a whole bunch of little hooks in here that these used to be where all of our test systems sat, and we sorted them out by what systems could go on what cords, and we had them all hung up so we could just use them. But now we're at, I think, we need 19 different systems to test all the games that come into the store. Some of them can do many things, like a Retron 5 can do 10 systems, and we still have like 19 systems that we need to have up and ready to go at any time, so that if you bring in your N64 games, we can make sure they work. And this was that. Anyway, that's probably about enough. The store is finished here. We're going to have a new store, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be for you, and it's going to be for us, and it's going to be for everyone. So we look forward to seeing you there and sharing more.